With both of my guests that were on earlier today on the show, and I wanted to combine them together because really I think that if you can get your mind and your body and everything well with each other and all working together, that your life can just be so much better. Just your day-to-day life, sleep better, work better, get things stimulated, get ideas going, get your businesses going, all those things. So we're going to have Marlies Ledbetter with Indie Hemp Company and Shannon Davis with the Theta Center, Aligned Theta Center. And we're going to talk, want to pick both of your brains. How can we maybe combine these two, I guess, therapies? They're both therapy in their own way.
For sure.
To make a better life for yourself or become whole.
I think I hear mind-body connection all the time, and I think that they shouldn't necessarily be taken away from each other.
You can't.
You can't. It's all one. The body is whole, and our thoughts are part of the patterning that kind of rules our lives. We were just talking during the break that 95% of your thoughts are repeated patterns. And so if you can start changing those patterns, and you don't necessarily have to go into a Buddhist temple and become a meditative monk. You can do little small things and master your theta waves and do all these different things to map your body and your mind together. They should always be working together. And honestly, the brain is kind of the boss. So if your brain isn't in the right place, your body's going to fall apart. And a lot of times we have people that come in with chronic disorders, and it really sometimes goes back to mindset or traumas that they've had. And so we have to kind of uncover those during the relationship of knowing the clients to figure out what we're trying to regulate, right? Because sometimes people say, I have insomnia. Well, it's anxiety-based insomnia. They can't shut their mind off. Okay, so what are things that we can do to shut their mind? What can we do to regulate their chemical productions? And that's where CBD comes in to change the chemical production to balance everything out, which is called homeostasis, which I know this one wonderful lady knows about, but that's when your body's balanced, and everyone's balance levels are different. So there's really no dose for everyone. Everyone's experience, even in your business, is going to be different as well. And that's the beauty of the human mind, is that we all have our own, we only live in this body, right? You live in yours and I live in mine, and this is the universe that I know. And so getting to know the relationship of the customer is the beauty of the business, I think.
I guess that's what Shannon was mentioning earlier. I guess, how many sessions you need for different things that happen to you, whether it be insomnia might need only 2 or 3 sessions, or what PTSD, can be something that could need months. It could need just the 20 days. It could
21 to 28 days.
Okay, that's max.
And any kind of
therapy.
neural pathways, and that's how long it takes to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Same for us. Yeah, we'd say 3 weeks is the uptake, so about 28 days. 21 to 28 days is for the uptake of the endocannabinoid system, and then if it's the cellular reconstructions happens around 3 weeks, 3 to 6 weeks, and then at 6 weeks your body starts creating habits. And so then it takes another 6 weeks. So we typically tell people 90 days to really see the fruitfulness of the product, but some people can feel it in the first day that they take it. It's rare, but a lot of people, that's what kicks them into gear, is they're like, oh, I put this cream on, it feels so much better. Well, think if you take it internally, how much more it could do. So, but everybody's different.
And I guess the machine, how do you think that you could work together possibly to really combine your services with each other and kind of make it I guess it'd be something that you could do the therapy and then sustain it, with
Absolutely. Before and after.
the CBD.
I know I'll definitely be referring new clients, because I have people that are they need to learn to manage their thoughts and to sit in theta for longer times.
And to calm the brain. And I'd meditate often myself. It's important to me to meditate. And it's not really something that we do with the Theta Pod, but is a side benefit, right? When you taste chocolate, you know what chocolate tastes like now. I can't fool you into saying this is chocolate if it's not, because you know what it tastes like. Once your brain has been in theta state and you know what that feels like, it's easier for you to attain that yourself too.
Yes.
When you're meditating, it's like Pavlov's dog. It's so funny when people come in the Theta Pod. The first session or two, sometimes they don't they don't enjoy it as much as they do later on. Some enjoy it right away and some don't. But after that third or fourth session, they're like butter. They're like, oh, because their brain knows exactly what's going to happen, exactly what they're going to do, and they just float right into theta. And it's just absolutely magical. Not, I don't use the term magical, but it feels that way. It's delicious.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So I want to, if you don't mind, go back to insomnia just a minute, because it's so critical for our immune systems. And right now, we all need to be very diligent that we're keeping our immune systems up and our family's immune systems up. And your body produces the antibodies and the proteins that your immune system needs while you're sleeping. So if you're not sleeping, your immune system is not functioning the way it needs to. So we tend to think of, tended to think of insomnia as one of the lesser things that we can help with the Theta Pod, but it's not. Because if your body's not sleeping right, there's so many processes that happen when you're sleeping, you're really compromising yourself, and none of us can afford to be compromised right now. We need to make sure our immune systems are working really well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, our immune systems are always important, but I think they're, I mean, on a heightened level now with COVID and everything else, and you know, all these. I mean, right now we have the variant, Delta variant, but who knows if we're going to get a different variant or what's going to happen. So, you know, protecting your wellness, your health, you know, is super important. And
I'm glad that you brought that up, because I hear from a lot of people that say, you know, we know that people that have compromised immune systems are not going to do well with any type of virus, right? But then I also hear, like, I know a lot of people that were healthy that got sick. Health, I feel like, really starts with the brain. And so if you don't have a healthy brain, your chemicals aren't, you know, your stress levels aren't managed properly, then you're really healthy. So someone can look healthy on the outside and be dying on the inside. So what you see for face value isn't always the case. And so I think it's really, really important for people to be managing their stress levels properly and to turn off the media, because your cortisol levels jump really, really high when you're triggered or you're stimulated. And so if you're in stimulation mode constantly, your immune system literally is the first thing that shuts down. Fight or flight keeps us alive. And so when you're in fight or flight, your cortisol levels are high, your immune system is the first thing to shut down, because the body naturally doesn't want to be fighting viruses and bacteria and things like that. It needs to focus on staying alive. Well, if we're in that mode all the time, our bodies are literally degrading before our eyes. And so I really impart on people, really think about what your day-to-day stress levels look like, how your relationships are, if you're setting proper boundaries with people. You know, people can come to me and say, Marlies, I have insomnia or pain or stress or like a disease. And the first thing I ask is, walk me through a typical day. Let me know about the relationships that you have, because sometimes we do have to think about, is there a point for you to meditate? And you don't have to necessarily empty your brain out, right? Meditation isn't that. Sometimes it's a happy place. Like my happy place is the Guadalupe, and I just envision myself completely surrounded by water and staring up to the sun and feeling that warm sun on my face and the movement of the river just slowly moving. And that's that's my Theta spot. That's where I can go to think of like very defined thoughts, help structure my day. If I have a plan that I'm trying to figure out, Theta is the perfect place to do that. And I think it would be so beautiful for us to work together, because people can come and experience that and learn how to get into Theta, and then start regulating their chemicals through CBD and really get people healthy, because there's no reason why we can't go day to day not being afraid of things like that are happening around the world, like a pandemic. If you're truly, truly healthy, you have nothing to worry about.
It's awesome. When I thought of, I asked people, you know, who might be interesting to bring on the show. You ladies both came up, and I was like, oh, this would be a really cool show to do together, just because we're all about growing businesses and helping people, you know, establish that, but also getting people healthy and stuff is really important. So supporting both of your businesses, I know I'm going to be able to definitely refer clients to both of you, much as myself. You know, I would like to try both, you know, for myself, because
and sleep is
I suffer from insomnia
of our lives, and we spend like what 1/3 of our lives asleep.
I mean,
so
I
if your sleep
suffer
isn't productive.
pseudo from insomnia. I say, because my brain is always working. I always have a client in my mind. I always have something. I know people are like, well, I don't want to text you too late because I know you're sleeping or whatever. I was like, well, I turn off my ringer. It's there, and it's off, so I'll get your message in the morning, but the first thing I do in the morning is pick up that phone and start messaging and start doing that, so it's always working. And clients are very important and what.
And insomnia is a diagnosed condition, and so we always have like people will use the word insomnia. There's people that truly do suffer from insomnia, from like they do not sleep at all. They get very, very low amounts of sleep, and sometimes it's because they've gotten off of pills recently. Benzodiazepines cause insomnia with people, and so it's really something like your issues probably just stress related, work related, right? These are just
it's definitely not diagnosed.
Small anxiety, we call them anxiousness. Not necessarily diagnosed anxiety or insomnia, but I think that when we get to sleep, kind of everything just falls into place. And most people come to me and they're like, when the sleep happened, everything fell back into place,
Yes.
It's really beautiful.
It affects every area of your body and your mind and every area of your life.
Every area.
Wow. I really appreciate you guys coming on the show. And if y'all want to research anymore, definitely contact Shannon to try out the Theta Center and, look up Align Theta Center. I know it's been on the bottom and the lower thirds of the show to research and call and get yourself a session, but also call Marlies and get some CBD for all your day-to-day needs, just to make yourself feel good on a day-to-day basis. I know, obviously we talked about insomnia a lot, but, sleep does make you feel so much better. It makes your day go so much better, and I think it's super important to have it. So thanks again for coming on the show, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.